Hi, I'm Katie, and this is episode 33 of Ornamentations, which is a special holiday kickoff episode introducing the 3 Flosstube kits that are now available on my website. Linked in the description below. I will also be sharing with you a new holiday finish and the conversion for it to kick off holiday stitching, and then sharing some of my stitching plans and a little holiday chart parade. I know many of you are still stitching fall, but Christmas is my favorite holiday. I absolutely love holiday stitching, so I've decided to start early and go big. I'm really excited to share it all with you, and whether you're interested in the kits or not, I hope you'll enjoy seeing the different finishes and my holiday stitching plans. But we will start today with the kits. The first of which is Brenda Gervais Bells of Christmas. The kit is $88, and these are the finishes with their fabulous blue silk ribbon bows, and that's enough for a bow and a hanger. The kit includes enough thread, linen, and ribbon to stitch both bows at both bells, you don't stitch the bow, both bells as seen here on the fabulous Legacy Linen Cloister Cream with that just lightly sparkly writing. These came out beautifully. I can't tell you how thrilled I am with the finish and how excited I am to hang these on my own tree. So the kit, as I said, it includes enough linen, so that's a 20 by 23 cut of Legacy Linen Cloister Cream, 38 count, the blue silk ribbon, and then the silks. It's also got a kit insert and then an updated template to fit the 38 count fabric, and then I've also bowed out the edge here just a little bit. The rounded edge at the lower end I thought gave just kind of really nice extra little touch. And then a few finishing tips are included in your kit insert as well, because curved finishes aren't the easiest thing in the world. I was really satisfied with my own, and I had a few tips to share with you, as well as the instructions on adding the ribbon bows to your bells if you need it. Many of you probably don't. And then these are the threads. It's a mix of Soie 103, Accentuate, and Soie Gobelins in some fabulous colors, mostly new from previous Flosstube kits. The only ones that have been used before here are the warm brown and the darker gray green here. Everything else is new to my Flosstube kits, including the white. Cloister Cream is kind of an interesting linen to stitch white on, because the warp and the weft are 2 different colors, which I hope we'll pick up here, maybe not. And one of those, the warp threads, are white, off-white really, which means that white threads can kind of ghost on Cloister Cream. I had to try out 8 different whites in 3 different thread types to get the one that showed up the best. That's my pick here. It's a new white to the Flosstube kits that I haven't used before. And then I also found out something very interesting. By accident, really, I stitched the bells with the warp going in 2 different directions and found that the white showed up better on one of these. So the linen in your kit, or rather the archival grade acid-free tissue paper that wraps the linen in your kit, is labeled with a note about which direction to stitch in relative to the white warp threads, so that your white shows up most clearly. I actually didn't realize it myself until I went to photograph these and realized that the white was showing up more clearly on the Peace on Earth bell. You know, some things in life are just happy accidents. So as I think I said, linen, ribbon, and thread for both bells. Oh, these are just beautiful. I love what the ribbon adds to the finish. That pop of blue I think just really makes it, and it's a perfect match for the lighter blue silk in the kit. How the colors, the ground linen and the ribbon all work together, I think just make for an absolutely gorgeous finish here. So enough of everything to make both bells, and then the threads are also a lovely addition to your stash, because that is just a gorgeous, gorgeous set of colors. So that's Bells of Christmas, which is $88, now available on my website. I have put in very large stock quantities on all the kits, especially Theodora, so we may not get to pre-orders. If we do, I've got more ribbon, but the number of pre-orders won't be open-ended. It will be limited by how much ribbon I have, because this was special order to match the threads. We may not get to that. There is a lot of stock on bells, just as an FYI. So one last look, and then we'll move on to the next kit, which is Theodora, the felt angel ornament. I just absolutely love how this turned out. She is $60, and that includes everything. The full kit, which includes everything you need to make Theodora with the exception of glue, the PDF instructions, which link to download them will be sent to your email after you complete your purchase. Access to that does not expire, and then I'll talk a little bit about the instructions in just a second after I give you a better look at Theodora. So she's got this wonderful embellished band on her skirt, which is wonderfully easy to create because it's just sequins and beads stitched on in layers, as are her wings and the little embellishment at the top of her dress. And these are some very, very special sequins. I had them imported specially from France for this project, and they are haute couture sequins from a heritage house that has been doing this for a very long time indeed, and I actually have an example of them used. So this is the Met's book on Christian Dior, and I'll put all the information on this and the other books referenced in this episode in the description. And these are very similar sequins from the same maker used on a Christian Dior dress from 1952, so made by Christian Dior himself, and this is one of his haute couture evening dresses. So those are beautiful floral openwork sequins. Here they're in tonal layers and different types. Oh, isn't that amazing? So Theodora is wearing haute couture sequins fit for an empress, which I think is really fitting given her name. And it's wonderful because it creates such a sparkly, elaborate, layered effect that was inspired by the embroidery and decoration in Byzantine mosaics. That was actually what gave Theodora her name, after the empress who was married to Justinian. And it's a lovely touch. So the materials really do all the work for you on Theodora. The felt was also specially imported from Europe for this project. This is 100% merino wool felt that was imported from the Netherlands, and you have to have a really high quality felt to do this kind of embellishment. So I call it embellished wool applique, because otherwise it'll just sag under all the weight that you're putting on it and the stress of the thread with the beads. So if you've never worked with a felt like this before, it's going to be a revelation, because not only is it beautiful, it's got this rich saturated color, it just works up gorgeously, and then your thread will sink into it, leaving your stitching more or less invisible. That's also the back. It is fully finished from all angles, because obviously you're going to be looking at the front most of the time, but if your Christmas tree is anything like mine, ornaments do occasionally turn around. So I like all of my ornaments to always be fully finished from all sides so that you get a good view even from the back, although of course it's not embellished and not as crazy sparkly as the front. Look at those wings. So this may be the only time I do an angel ornament. Theodora was a pretty insane kitting job. There are 6 different types of sequins on Theodora, and I think 4 different beads, all of which had to be counted, weighed, and gated by yours truly, which was quite a job. So I'm not committing to doing this again. If you have any interest in my angel ornaments, this is your chance. Oh, those wings. Look at those wings. I never get sick of looking at that, truly. She is really great. This is the kit box, as I've shown previously, and then I'll be inserting a brief video at the end of this episode, which will be the kit unboxing. You'll get to take a look at the contents, which are, again, everything that you need to create this ornament, with the exception of glue, which, you know, I'm sure you can provide. And then, as I mentioned, the instructions are PDF download, but I did have a copy printed for my mother, and she let me borrow it so I could give you a look at the instructions. Again, yours will not be hard copy, but you can have them printed if you wish. And they are 24 pages, very, very detailed, full color instructions. 24 pages is really way more than you need to do this ornament. It's not that complicated, but I always like to give more rather than less in instructions so that this is a project anyone can do at all skill levels. No experience is required. My mom has actually already finished her own Theodora and had a great time with it, so the instructions were really clear. Obviously she's biased, but as that was something she said to me privately, I don't think she would have lied. So that's Theodora. Again, she's $60. That includes your kit, your PDF instructions, and everything that you need to create this fabulous, fabulous ornament. She will not be restocked. The kit run is large because of all the materials I had to import to make this, but once they're gone, and she won't be stocked again. So act now if you're interested. Oh, and I also wanted to talk just a little bit about the inspiration for this. So we talked about the Byzantine bands that inspired the decoration of her skirt. But when I was thinking about doing this ornament, first question I wrestled with was, what is her dress in terms of what color is her dress? And then I thought of a wonderful painting that's in the collection of the National Gallery in Britain, not the American National Gallery. It's called the Wilton Diptych, and if you were actually emailed me after the last episode to tell me that my ornament made her think of this painting, which was just so cool, because that is actually what I was thinking of when I was designing it. I had no idea if that would actually come across. So this is a detail shot from the Wilton Diptych. It's on the cover of the book Blue by Michel Pastoureau, which is a single shade history of the color blue from ancient times to modern times. It's a fascinating book that I highly recommend. I will put all the information in the description, but it's relevant here today because of what's on the cover, which is a detail shot from the Wilton Diptych, which features the Madonna surrounded by an entire host of angels, all in rich, vivid lapis lazuli blue, which is absolutely remarkable because of when this was painted. At the time, lapis lazuli blue was the most expensive paint there was, because it was actually made from the stone lapis lazuli, which was imported into Europe at enormous cost. And then even after you had the raw material, lapis lazuli usually has other minerals in it, so it had to be purified. The stone was ground and then repeatedly washed. It went through a multiple day purification process to eliminate all other elements from the material before it could be made into paint. At that time, painters usually made their own paint from raw pigments. This was way before you could just buy a tube and squeeze it. So this blue was the most expensive color on earth, which is why actually the Madonna is usually painted in blue robes, because at that time blue was precious and the expensive paint signaled her special status. For blue to be used all over the painting with all of the angels, the entire host in this rich luxury blue was something only a king could afford. It's one of the things that makes the Wilton diptych so special. And I think once you've seen that incredible rich expanse of blue, this beautiful, beautiful painting, I'll link the Wilton diptych in the description below. It's also linked in the instructions, as it was an important part of the inspiration for Theodora. But it's a wonderful, wonderful painting. So that's what gave me the idea for Theodora and her beautiful blue dress. The felt actually is called lapis. I didn't make that up. And when I found that, that really sealed the deal. And I think it turned out beautifully. Not to mention blue and gold is a classic combination. So I'm excited to hang her on my tree this year. So Theodora, $60 now available on my shop, linked in the description. And then our last kit for today is Joy and Good Cheer, which is one of the newer charts from Brenda Gervais, seen here. And then this is my stitch, which I did without the letters, but your kit includes everything you would need to stitch the letters. You've got enough linen, silk backing fabric, and the right thread to stitch the letters if you would like to. So this is my stitch on Irish Coffee. Joy and Good Cheer is $56. We'll look at the kit in just a second. It includes your linen, legacy linen 38 count Irish Coffee, the coordinating silk taffeta. Irish Coffee, not the easiest linen to match, so I bought out Britex on the silk taffeta to have plenty of material for kits. The little 2mm crystal pearls that are used to accent it, and then all of the threads as seen here. And then this is the kit. It also includes a number 10 milliner's needle because the holes on the beads are quite small. So I wanted to make sure that you had a needle that could go through them and you could actually use the beads that are included in your kit. There is a written guide to the conversion and to my changes. For Bells of Christmas and Joy and Good Cheer, there are also dedicated private pages on my website with more information and detail shots, so you can follow my stitch as closely as you like, because I did make some changes which are detailed in the insert if you would like to follow what I did. So I actually added a few stitches on either side of the snowman to better space out the elements, in addition to removing the words. I thought it gave everything a little more room to breathe. It does make it more of an elongated rectangular shape, especially because I eliminated the words. I am really pleased with how this turned out though. This is actually one of my favorite reds. It is a beautiful color. It hasn't been used in my Flosstube kits before. Actually, almost all of the silks in this one are new to my Flosstube kits. There is one overlap in color between this and Bells. It's that blue. So in Bells, I have given it in Goblins. Here it's in 103. So if you are interested in both kits, you'll get the same color, but you won't get the same thread twice. And then everything else in the conversion is new to my Flosstube kits, with the exception of the very dark blackish gray at the end. So new greens, new blues, and this fabulous new red. The grayish green here is actually quite similar to the one used in Bells of Christmas, but they are two different colors. I find it very useful to have adjoining shades. So those, just the one blue is the only overlap between the two different kits. And then this off-white here is also new to my Flosstube kits, and it was specially chosen after a fair amount of experimentation to find the shade that I thought best just leapt off the ground of Irish coffee. Look at how much that pops. I mean, that's just fabulous. I love how all the colors show up on Irish coffee. It's a fabulous linen to stitch on. It's my new favorite. So I'm really pleased with how this turned out, and then I will be figuring out a great little display for this once my own holiday decorations go up. Not until December 1st with all these holiday finishes. I'm really just raring to put them all up. I am trying to be controlled. We'll see how long I can hold out. But that is Joy and Good Cheer. And so, as I mentioned before, although I have left off the words, your kit includes everything in terms of linen, threads, and backing silk that you would need if you would like to stitch yours with the words. So that's Joy and Good Cheer, which is $56. Theodora is $60, and then the kit for the double bells is $88. So those are 3 Flosstube kits, and then we will get on to the other finish I have for you today, which is the Scarlett House Be Merry and Bright. So I wanted to stitch this on Irish coffee, as I mentioned, my new favorite linen, and then but what I really thought this was crying out for was brighter colors. I love 50s style, really bright, bold, and beautiful holiday colors. Well, not really holiday colors. You know, you see lots of pinks and greens and blues, bright, vivid colors. I love that. I think it looks great on a tree. So I wanted to take the idea of these shiny bright style ornaments but give them more vivid colors, and that's what I did. So this is Be Merry and Bright, which, as you can see, I stitched without the words. What a surprise. And then really vivid colors. I also added beads and sparkle. There's accentuate here paired with a Philosophy for a little delicate sparkle, kind of to give it an aged silver look. And then the ornaments themselves are highlighted with beads. And then I've done an edging that's a 4mm crystal brulette. The color is called Silver Shade, topped with a size 15 seed bead, the same seed bead that's used to embellish the stitch itself. I'll have all details on the beads and the threads used in the description if you'd like to stitch Be Merry and Bright with my conversion. I use the same silk taffeta that is on Joy and Good Cheer, because it's also with Irish coffee, and I think this turned out great. I can't wait to hang it on my tree. It also does kind of complement Theodora a little bit. Those blues don't really match, but they kind of coordinate in the way that they both really pop. It's gonna look amazing on a tree. So these are the colors, and again, they're all posted in the description below. I used a metallic braid that coordinate from a Vera Swap. That coordinates really well with the accentuate color here. And then those are my crazy day glow silks that I used. I would like to call your attention to one shade here. This is 235, and this is the new dye lot of 235. The previous dye lot was much more muted and less pink. So if you are stitching Be Merry and Bright according to my conversion, make sure you ask the shop that you're ordering from to get the new dye lot of 235. Access Commodities will know exactly what you're looking for, and I will make sure Needle and Haystack does as well. But if you're ordering from another shop, new dye lot 235 in Goblins. So, and also if you had the thread previously, it has changed, and my stitch definitely depends on that super vivid pinky red. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I love it. You know, you can do these things at Christmas. I think you can throw all these crazy colors on a tree and they look great, and I really love that edging. I'm gonna buy more briolettes so that I can do this on some of my other Christmas ornaments. So that's Be Merry and Bright. Everything on the conversion and the finishing is listed in the description below. I hope you enjoy it if you'd like to stitch it along with me. And then let's finish off with just a little bit of a chart parade today, talking about some holiday stitching plans, because as you may have noticed, it's behind me. I did finish Plum Street samplers my early days and was thinking about what to do next. Should I do a little fall? And I decided, you know what? It might be early, but I am going to move right on to Christmas just because that is my favorite season to stitch for. And I started pulling some charts, and so we'll talk about that just really briefly before I leave you. So what I'm going to start with is actually how I already started. I'll show you my start in my next episode, which will be next week. I'll be back on my regular filming schedule. This is just a special episode to introduce the kits. And this is Plum Street, This Joyous Season. I had originally thought I would do this on Druid Blue. I still think it would look great on it. I didn't have quite the right pinks. I was doing some color testing and just didn't love the way my pinks were looking on Druid Blue. And the lovely poinsettias are such a feature on this chart that I decided to switch to Irish Coffee instead, because apparently I only stitch on Irish Coffee these days. I'm definite risk of becoming a one-trick pony. But so This Joyous Season will be my first stitch. I am going to intersperse this with some smaller ones just to break it up. As I've mentioned before, I don't love block stitching, and that house is serious business, not to mention all the fill-in underneath it. So we'll start. I'm definitely gonna have to mix it up with some other things, and that's what I will be showing you. Oh, the other thing is that, so I'm doing this on Irish Coffee, as I mentioned. In silks, I will be sharing my conversion in the next episode. I think I should have it complete by then. But the other thing I think this would look great on, again, also Druid Blue, but Himalayan Fog. Wouldn't that be awesome? Very like winter wonderland background. Or you could also do the Cloister Cream that I've used here on Bells of Christmas. I unfortunately thought of this after I had already cut and started stitching on Irish Coffee, or I would have been really, really tempted to break out the Himalayan Fog for this, because I haven't actually stitched on Himalayan Fog yet, and I love it. So doing something on that is definitely on my Christmas to-do list. But so first holiday start is This Joyous Season. And then, also from, no, not also, from Brenda Gervais is When Santa's Away. And this, it wasn't actually at the top of my list. This is in tribute to my friend who recently started stitching. So I told you a few episodes ago that my oldest friend has recently taken up cross stitch after watching my Flosstube. And this is what she started. This is her first finish. She's already done. I'm going to make this into a little ornament for her as my Christmas gift to her. And I already had the chart. I didn't have it at the top of my list, but she stitched it on Fuller's Diesel with goblins that she picked out herself. It looked amazing. It's dying for some green beaded trim. So I definitely want to stitch it myself as well. Then we can match like the big dweeb. She's gonna come over next week. We're gonna stitch together. It'll be great. I might actually stitch this just so she can laugh at me. But I want to stitch this and hang it on my own tree so that I can twin with my oldest friend who will also have it on hers. So that's When Santa's Away, and it really changes on the more tan brown fabric. I'll take a picture when I have it, and I'll show you her finish if she will let me. And then also by Brenda Gervais is Mr. Marshmallow, but I want to do it on a very different ground. I was thinking Filbert from Legacy Linen. I'll do the Hot Cocoa Cup in a different color as well, because This will just really change on this, but I think that will be perfect. Also, it just kind of says rich, like hot chocolate. It's more purpley, but I think those are going to be a perfect match. And oh boy, I got so excited talking about Christmas stitching that my camera cut me off, so this might be kind of an awkward transition, but I think, as I was saying, I have this on the brain after my mom used the lower count version of this Swiss Cocoa for her stitch of peppermint and holly. The conversion for that is in episode 27. We're needle and thread people. So excited to use some filbert for some holiday stitching. I also want to continue making just individual motifs from modern folk embroidery through the Bitter Frost and Snow, finishing them as individual ornaments. And I would like to get the silk wrapped pearl finishing tutorial up for you before Christmas. I know I have promised that. I have not forgotten about it. It's a great way to do Christmas ornaments, so hoping to get that up before too long. I've done a few motifs from this, so I will return to that. There's just so much great stuff on this that really you could do all of these as motifs and it would look great. I also want to do the new Brenda Gervais Christmas sharps that Brenda and Laura showed this weekend on their Flosstube. I've been waiting for those to come out since the Amana retreat last year. I don't have them yet myself, but I am definitely going to order them and stitch them, so look for those as well. And then the other thing I'm really looking forward to is one of her older patterns for punch needle and wool applique. So this is Snow Folk at Winterberry Hill. I got this from her website, Country Stitches Online. And I just love the style of her ornaments. I will do this in my Katie style of embellished wool applique, but I just love the way she did the snowman. So stay tuned as to how I interpret this, because I do love doing my crazy felt ornaments. It won't be all cross stitch for holiday stitching, but I want to start with inspired by this particular pattern. So we'll see where I go with that. I'm not quite sure yet myself. So those are some of my holiday plans. To recap on the Christmas kits: Bells of Christmas, $88. Theodora, $60. Joy and Good Cheer, $56. All available on my website now. And then, oh, just because I forgot. So unlike previous Flosstube kits, once I was through the stocked kits, I took pre-orders for 1 week. Stock levels are much, much higher on this round of kits. I have put in a ton of stock on everything. I don't even know if we'll get to pre-orders. If we do, I will take them for an open-ended amount of time and then fill them on a rolling basis. We will send 2022 out with a really big bang with all 3 kits. And then I'm going to fall over in a heap and take a little break from Flosstube kits. There probably won't be any more until, I don't know, maybe March? We'll see. But oh, I just want to enjoy the holidays and some holiday stitching and have a lot of fun with that. So this will be the last available on the Flosstube kits for a little while. And also, shipping is flat rate no matter how many items you buy. If you buy all the kits, if you buy multiple angels, it's flat rate shipping. If we do get to pre-orders and you're going to be on vacation in the next couple of months, please let me know when you put in your order. Use the contact form on my website. It's the easiest way to reach me. I always check my email really regularly. And then I can hold it if your pre-order comes in while you're away. I am happy to do vacation holds. You just have to let me know that you're going to be gone. And then international shipping will be cut off starting December 1st. Our post offices get so crazy after Thanksgiving that if you're an international customer, please order before then. If you order after December 1st, you are welcome to do so, but do so knowing that shipping will be held until January 1st, because oh boy, international shipping in the month of December is just nutty, 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 nutty. So those are the holiday kits. They're now available. Link is in the description below. I hope you enjoyed seeing them, whether the kits are of interest to you or not. I hope you enjoyed Be Merry and Bright, which I just love. The bright colors really make me smile, and oh, I love that brulette edging. That turned out, oh, it's the perfect amount of sparkle. It's detailed. It's perfect for ornaments. I love it. And that's really easy. You just bring your needle up at 1/2 inch intervals, put on a brulette, loop on the seed bead at the top, take your needle back through the brulette, come up at the next 1/2 inch interval. Really super easy. You just need the beads. And then I will be back with you next week on my regular filming schedule, where the Simple Harmony box will be back from Needle in a Haystack, and we'll be marking the 1-year anniversary of the Simple Harmony stitch along. I can't believe we got there, but we did. And then I also have 2 exciting new starts to share with you. So I'll see you next week. Check out the holiday kits if you're interested. They are available now on my website. And until next week, happy stitching. So we're just going to take a quick peek inside the kit box to make the wonderful Theodora, the 2022 holiday ornament, my original felt ornament kit. And this is what comes with Theodora. So you've got the silk pack, 4 colors of silk in 103 and Swassofine, everything needed to make your angel. We've got 2 different kinds of sequins and then accompanying beads to make the wings. Multiple types of beads and sequins to do all the embellishment on her dress. Her embellishments for her face, her hands, and then the metallic braid that makes the hanger for the ornament. 2 things for design transfer, a tapestry needle, you'll see why you need that in the instructions, and then a double-ended Bowen chalk pencil. This is great because it's got a dark end and a light end, so it's suitable for both light and dark felts, which you do have in Theodora. Then you have your actual felt. So 4 pieces in 4 colors wrapped in acid-free tissue paper, and then your number 10 milliner's needle, which is used to actually stitch Theodora. Got all messed up, so put that to the side. And then you also have Bristol paper, metallic cardstock that forms the halo. And then 2 sets of templates for Theodora to make all of her pieces. And then this here is a layout template, so you can lay your pieces over it as you're assembling Theodora and make sure that everything's in the right place. So those are the contents of your kit. It's everything that you need along with the PDF instructions to make this fabulous, glittering, wonderful angel.